this is something that I've personally found very, very helpful. So there was, definitely again, the Daekyong has been speaking extensively about faith, and she spoke about the three types of faith: admiring faith, believing faith, wishing faith. And she spoke about how Geshe has phrased things a little differently. And in particular for me, the way he has spoken about admiring faith, I personally have just found so helpful. So I just thought I'd put it out there because perhaps you will as well. So she spoke about it this morning in the Daekyong, but Geshe-la's writing, admiring faith is the nature of rejoicing. Rejoicing in the complete purity of enlightened beings, in their teachings, and in the realizations of their teachings. So that's admiring faith, which is the first type of faith. Now, why do I find that helpful? Because I think often we sometimes think believing faith is the first type of faith. And sometimes perhaps we haven't quite built up the infrastructure to be able to believe what we're supposed to believe. And so I'm speaking as someone who, I grew up in a Scandinavian household, and I never heard the word faith in my household. It just was not part of our life until I encountered Buddhism, and then of course being young and arrogant, now I'm old and arrogant, but I just pretended I did. I pretended I knew what they were talking about, so when it said develop faith, I would go thinking that was faith, but which basically involved a lot of pushing and essentially pretending. But pretending is not faith. So I found these words so helpful, that admiring faith is the nature of rejoicing. And we're rejoicing in the qualities of enlightened beings and in their teachings and in the realizations of their teachings. So that means not only are we going to rejoice in Vajrayogini and in our spiritual guide and in the Buddhas, but we also need to rejoice in our own experience, in the experience we have when we're meditating, when we're practicing Dharma. We need to rejoice. So anyway, I'm just putting this out as something for you to think about and maybe discuss, but elsewhere, Geshe has said that faith pervades all virtuous mind like space pervades all places, quoting Buddha. Faith pervades all virtuous minds like space pervades all places. And if admiring faith is the nature of rejoicing, then doesn't it somewhat follow that rejoicing pervades all virtuous minds? Anyway, I don't know, but I find it really useful to think like that. Because we're moving, the whole idea is that we're going to be on a journey, on a quick path to great bliss. We want to move our mind in the direction of bliss. We want to allow our mind to connect to the blissful nature of Guru Vajrayogini. I don't think that can be done with a dry, flat, heavy mind. I don't think the mind's going to go from flat and dry and heavy to blissful. I think if we start filling our heart with some rejoicing, the light quality of joy in our heart, it just makes us so much more susceptible to bliss, to receiving the blessings of bliss into our heart.